this meeting to order of the regular city council meeting, January 24th, 2024. It is 5:30. Remind you to turn your microphones on and speak into the mic, unlike what I did there. Starting out with the standard agenda items. Number one is approve of the January 10th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes. Any changes? The motion?
I make a motion to approve the January 10th, 2024 minutes.
A second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Wait, so opposed, I still say aye?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
No.
Okay. That passes. 1B, approval of the January 24th, 2024 claims for payment. Any questions from the council?
I have none.
None.
Okay. Hearing none. Those in favor of approving those claims, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry. We need a motion first.
I make a motion to approve the claims for payment.
Thank you, Patty. And a second.
I will second that.
Thank you. Now, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say anything you want. Okay. Passes 4-0.
No, it doesn't.
Pardon me.
That passes 4-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Thank you. 1C, open business from the community. Is there anyone here that would like to speak at this time? Seeing none, we will go on to the mayor's report. All of the mayors in Sioux County make up the County Emergency Management Commission, and we met in Orange City on January 11th. The purpose of the commission is the development of plans and programs which will protect the lives and property of the Sioux County citizens and assist in the recovery from natural or man-made disasters. Chief Deputy Nate Huizinga is the AMC administrator. He is responsible for the coordination of emergency services, development and improvement of emergency services with needed equipment and training, and obtaining state and federal funds for this purpose. At the meeting, in addition to meeting some of the other mayors in the county and visiting with Chief Deputy Huizinga and Sheriff Jamie Van Vorst, we were able to get a tour of the county communications center where all of the 911 calls come in and where law enforcement personnel are dispatched to where they are needed. On the 12th, Jacob, Rob, Patty, and I met with Gary Tucker to discuss the possibility of him filling in as interim city administrator when Jacob is off to military service in Germany for a year. We'll be discussing this further later in the evening. On the 16th, Carol and I and several other community members met with the school's CAPS participants. CAPS stands for Center for Advanced Professional Studies. 2 West Sioux students were given a project to research and develop. Their project is to learn what is being done to welcome new residents to town and what improvements can be made. Then they will go ahead and implement those improvements. Earlier this week, I met with Jeff Nohava and Carol Hugestrat. They shared what they thought was going well for them and where we might be able to make some improvements moving forward. I hope to meet with other department heads in the near future. At this time, we'll move forward into staff reports. Jacob.
I have nothing that I'm going to not discuss elsewhere.
Okay. Travis.
Last Wednesday, I went to the Northwest Iowa Area Solid Waste Annual Meeting in Sheldon, and a $2 per ton increase was approved. It'll go from $40 to $42 a ton. Last year, the same thing happened, except it was a $5 increase. The increase will begin in July. Per our contract with OC Sanitation, they can ask for a monthly increase of 26 cents per customer. That's 13% of whatever the increase at the tonnage is. This would be an increase of $260 a month or $3,120 annually. So it'll be something to think about if we want to pass that along like we did last year. And then also wanted to remind the council that in our contract, the cost will increase $1 per customer in January 2025. It'll go from $15.35 to $16.35. This will run until the end of the contract, which will be December 31st, 2026.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Travis? Carol?
Well, we had a good week. I was able to collect the $32,100 from Skelling to move forward, filed the deed so they could take possession of the 16th and L lot. So they will begin spring construction on both the Sioux Motel lots and the 16th and L, so those projects will be underway, which will be good for getting some people into town. We've had a pretty good time with the police grants. I was able to put in we're doing a special project with this golf cart where the kids can drive, wear goggles. It simulates being high or drunk while behind the wheel or distracted driving. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to cover the entire cost of that project through grants. I've got very positive feedback. We're going to have the chamber coffee tomorrow morning, so if everybody's available at 10 o'clock, that's going to be at the library. And I think we have a chamber at 5 tomorrow night. Everybody wants to attend. We are going to discuss the sale of another piece of property, which will be coming forward here pretty soon, which will be a good move for the city as well. The Fireman's Ball is this Saturday night, so if everybody wants to come attend the Fireman's Ball. We have 3 current inquiries to my revolving loan fund. The inquiries are quite high, so I'm hoping that we can postpone one. We're at about $275,000 in requests. So we'll move forward on that. But that's about it.
Thank you. Any questions for Carol? Okay, thanks. Jenny isn't with us tonight, but we do have Tim Clausen from the law office. Welcome, Tim. Can you hear?
I can, thank you.
Did you have anything that you or Jenny wanted to share with us tonight?
Nope, we're here for your support if you need it.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. We'll go on to 2C, council comments. Open that up to the council. If anyone has any comments.
I would like to add an action item to the next meeting to discuss exact mayor responsibilities and who gets to decide the seating arrangement around here. I would like it to discuss it, and I would like it to be able to act on it.
Okay, we can do that. Anyone else? Okay. We're moving on to other agenda items. Number 3 is Hawarden Chamber update.
Can you hear me? Yes. I just want to let you know, I practiced my presentation today at the library for some of the kiddos, and they all agreed it's very boring. So just bear with me and listen through. Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Coyle, the Hawarden Chamber of Commerce Director. And on behalf of our organization, we thank you for your time in allowing us to speak here tonight. On behalf of the Chamber Board and committee members, we sincerely thank the City Council for your support. We appreciate the work you do and the time you give to our community. Let me start by sharing our current Chamber Executive Board. Our organizational chairperson is Mackenzie Feldhacker. Our development chairperson is Lance Stoik. Our retail chairperson is Brenna Erickson. Our Chamber Vice President is Tara Ramos, and our Chamber President is Michelle Clucky. Currently, the City of Hawarden provides the Hawarden Chamber of Commerce with $21,500 in annual support. We're asking the city to continue to provide this valued subsidy and plan to use the funding to continue serving our chamber members and the community as a whole. Last year, we came to you and presented our goals for 2023. Tonight, I want to restate the goals and how we work to achieve them. We set an open invitation to chamber members and the community to share some of their favorite 2023 moments and the ways the chamber adds value to the community. We plan to share with you some of the quotes during the presentation. The top 2023 goals that we prepared last year are: We want to increase opportunities for business and community members to engage with one another for community and business expansion by hosting more networking and social events. We created a successful membership night. We're hosting it again tomorrow night, 5 to 7 at Sportsman's Lanes. Our Chamber Coffee and Chamber After 5 calendar is already booked for 2024. And the Community Block Party brought the entire community downtown to enjoy the summer evening together. I have 2 quotes for this one. The family night downtown was nice. It gave my family a great reason to go downtown. And feedback from a member was, watching the business community come together and unite for community events, everyone feels so supportive of each other and excited for the future of the Chamber. We had a 2023 goal to help Hawarden businesses to grow and thrive by revamping and maximizing our current benefits for Chamber members. The Chamber Organizational Committee started a thorough process of evaluating our current benefits. We started collecting relevant and meaningful feedback from members on what benefits they find most beneficial. An online survey was sent out, and we reflected and revamped our entire benefit list. We had a 2023 goal to collaborate with businesses so that the Chamber can support business needs and highlight their exciting endeavors through a featured business spotlight, videos, and social media shares. We started a monthly Chamber Business Spotlight that will highlight Chamber businesses once a month on social media. We also reflected and revised the way we shared out on social media and currently gained an average viewership of 10,000 views on our post. We plan to use this reach to further promote our Chamber businesses, organizations, and the entire community. We had a 2023 goal to contribute to the economic stability of the community by partnering with the Revolving Loan Fund to help receive a USDA grant. And in 2023, development worked with a local buyer and sold a commercial lot to be developed this coming year. We worked with the high school CAPS program and put together promotions on the facade grant for businesses in Hawarden. The money given has helped several businesses update their facades. We worked with local builders on potential housing efforts to come to town. And we are continually exploring opportunities to work on the next project that can further the economic development of Hawarden. We had a 2023 goal to revitalize our community through the creation of a new Big Sioux River Days coalition. We invited community input into planning and creative events, releasing new energy into ongoing programs. We added 6 new events to Big Sioux River Days weekend and brought back 2 past events. A quote I have: the whole family came back for Labor Day, and we did all of the events. I don't know the last time everyone was here for Labor Day. The theme for last year was transition. We focused on how to transition the new roles within the Chamber. And in 2024, we're focusing on elevating the Hawarden Chamber. We're adding new events and remodeling some of our hallmark events. Our primary goal is to establish a strong foundation and elevate not only our members, but the community as a whole. And we plan to elevate through visibility. We are united with Chamber businesses, Chamber associations, individual and family members. We are organizing events and promotions that increase visibility to the Hawarden community. With everything from the Big Sioux River Days to the Hawarden holiday events to small business promotions, the burger battle, down to the decorated flower pots on Main Street, our goal is to increase the visibility of Hawarden. A quote we have from a member: our active Chamber of Commerce equates to economic stability that improves the quality of life in our town. Promoting the community brings tourism and visitors, as well as attracting local customers to shop and spend where you live. You've attracted other companies and businesses to open in our community, offered new jobs, contributing to competitive markets, and paying local sales tax that recirculate back into the community. We plan to elevate through resources. The Chamber offers access to valuable resources, discounts, and relationships that help business market their products and the community to save money. A quote we have: our business saw 4 times our average sale during the burger battle in April. People from all over came to try our burger. We plan to elevate through networking. The Chamber provides opportunities for businesses to network and form new partnerships and collaborations that highlight the community as a whole. A quote we have: the Chamber is working with all the organizations in town: library, Parks and Rec, Arts Council, the city, the businesses, the school, and the Historical Society. Several organizations together equals one community. And we plan to elevate through development. The Hawarden Chamber Development Committee meets monthly, and through collaboration, networking, and grant provisions, the organization has been able to breathe new life into community development and the business structures downtown. The Hawarden Chamber of Commerce is invigorated and enthusiastic for the future of our organization. Tonight, I want to end our presentation with a quote from Steve Wicker, the manager at Schoeneman's Lumber Company. Having the Chamber and City Council work together to achieve the common goal of community improvement and growth to the community is extremely important, and Hawarden should consider themselves blessed that people want to be actively involved in the betterment of the community. We thank you again for your time tonight and ask you to continue your current level of support. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks for all the chamber does. Okay, we're moving on to number 4, discussion on selling property. Who would like to talk about that?
I'll speak on that.
Okay.
Jesus Topete came to my office and discussed purchasing some land north of his property. He's at 820 Avenue H. And you'll see his garage, current garage is not even, it's about 50% on his property and on ours. So that would solve an existing non-conforming building problem we have. And he would like to add on 12 feet to the north of that garage, basically doubling the size. These, the footages I have up here just for kind of scale to show what he would like to purchase. I did talk to him about he would have to get a surveyor and put some pins in. It's not like just buying an alley that's already been plotted. So he would have to take care of that, and he was willing to do that. And then that's where we'll get the final footages and how much square feet he would like to purchase. But before I wanted to incur any of that for him, I wanted to bring it to you to see if we were willing to sell that property. Utility-wise, nothing in the way. We'd be fine with sticking to that, close to those numbers we have there. Historically, we've sold alleys at 42 cents a square foot. That's, if we want to look at changing that number, but that's the number I told him historically we use, so that's up for discussion as well.
That was the last number that we probably used on an alley. The number that I used to sell the commercial lots was 49 cents. On the residential lots, it was $1 a square foot.
I have no problem selling an odd piece of land like this, not any good to us. My problem is or my question is, how many feet would his new garage be from the trail? Is there enough feet between the
Yep,
trail and that red line?
This red line, as it's drawn, would give it 6 feet to his property line. He needs 5 feet as far as code. So when we plot it out, we'd make, and from that line to the walking trail is 4 feet.
About 4 feet?
Yep. So the garage would be 10.
Any other questions?
Do you feel like that's enough with?
That would be enough if we had to change the,
Okay.
dig up the sidewalk and replace it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yep, plenty of room there. I could squeeze it down a little bit, but, you don't want to have the building right at 5 feet
Too close.
either.
Can't,
Yep.
yeah.
Time to raise the cost. Make it easy, 50 cents a foot.
We hate to go over our commercial, everything.
We'd raise
I
that
guess
too.
the alley,
Yeah, 50 would be a nice, easy number to,
Yeah.
when people came in and talked about it,
yeah.
it's easy to figure. And
50 cents is not out of line. Actually, it's quite inexpensive compared to our neighboring communities.
Numbers, so it's easier to remember.
Would you like that on the agenda for next time?
You asked for my input. I gave it. After that, it's up to you.
Okay. Any other comments?
Go ahead.
Okay.
yeah, if everyone's in agreement, I'll go back to him and tell him 50 cents and that we'd be willing to do that. So then we'll do a public hearing.
I'll
the
create a
sale.
resolution to set the public hearing, then we'll post that, and then at the next meeting, we can do the disposition to sell, the resolution to sell the property. And then I'll do a quick claim deed, and the new buyer will pay all the costs, all the filing fees, and everything will be their burden.
It could be a couple meetings from now too, because we'll have to have it surveyed first.
It's all just
So-
discussion.
As long as everyone's in agreement of selling for 50 cents, then we'll put the next step on him and have it surveyed. Then we'll have an actual square footage and how the footage lays out, and I can come back with that. Well, it'll be on the purchase
Yeah,
agreement.
I have to have a legal description to put on the resolution and, of course, the deed. So we have to have it surveyed before I can generate any of those documents.
Right, and Mr. Mayor, this is Tim Clausen. Obviously, there's a statutory procedure that has to be followed. So once you have the legal description, work with Jenny, and she'll outline the statutory procedure that needs to be followed.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on to number 3. We've got a resolution 2024-03, tax abatement for Adbar LLC, new construction. Carol, is that you?
Yeah, that is the condos, business condos that he built out in the industrial park. Has been quite a successful project for him. All of them are rented at this time. He's going to apply for the abatement based on the 3 years, 100%, and then it will be on the tax roll at full value.
We were aware of that when he's first started, so that's procedure.
Any questions or comments?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-03.
So they're just rented. They're not sold.
No, each individual business does not buy the condo. I'm not saying he would never do that. That's, of course, up to him. But at this current time,
If he does it in the next 3 years, I'm going to be back.
as far as selling, I guess I don't know that would change what the tax amount would be.
It would make it difficult to collect it, depending upon who bought it.
Okay. I will stick my nose into that.
Doesn't matter if he doesn't sell it, I don't care. If he does, I care.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second. We'll have a roll call vote on this.
Anderson,
Aye.
Warner,
Aye.
Harvey,
Yep.
Anderson.
I'll get the vote
Did I do that twice? Allen.
Aye.
Clucky.
Thank you. Passes 5-0.
Put a first initial on him.
Almost 6-0.
A-N-A-L.
Moving on to number 4, we've got Resolution 2024-04, tax abatement, CFE. Carol, is that you again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
the-
2024-04 is for B plus P,
Yeah,
correct?
The agendas wrote wrong.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just B plus P.
Basically, it's the same issue. They're going to apply, their building is complete. It's the other 2 industrial lots that we sold last year, their construction is complete, and they'll do the 3-year tax abatement.
And we were aware of this one, too. And
Yeah, yep.
It's nice their business is growing, too, so it's really nice to see with those 2 young guys.
They've done outstanding.
They have.
Yes. They're also recipients of our revolving loan fund and have been terrific.
I make a motion to approve 2024-04.
Yep.
Seconds. We'll have a roll call vote again.
All right. Harvey,
Yep.
Warner,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Clucky.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. Number 5, we've got a Resolution 2024-05, tax abatement, and this is for CFE, correct?
Yes, this one is CFE.
This is basically the same. Their amount of improvements is totaled to $13 million. There were 2 building permits, but we combined them into 1 abatement then. So that's same story.
Make that motion.
second it.
We'll have roll call vote. Jacob?
Clucky?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Allen?
Aye.
Harvey?
Yep.
Warner?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. We're at number 8, approve mayoral appointment of Mr. Cody Brotherson as police chief. We've done some searching and talking and interviewing. Felt that Cody was the right man for the job. He has really been doing the job already. He's been an officer on the Hawarden Police Department since May 1st, 2020. He's assumed additional administrative responsibilities since the resignation of Police Chief Corey Utek. He has led the department admirably during a challenging period of multiple resignations and uncertainty. Hiring Sergeant Brotherson will give the department stability and put us on track to hire and retain officers. Cody lives in Orange City and has made it clear that he's not interested in moving from Orange City. We do have a waiver of that Jacob is willing to provide for us in that instance. I believe it's important for the city to employ a police chief sooner rather than later. Sergeant Brotherson has already assumed most of the responsibilities of chief and knows the challenges of the position. He's eager to address those challenges. This appointment does need council approval. Discussion.
I guess I would like to say a couple words. I've talked to a lot of community members about it. He's been upfront with all the businesses and stuff. He's really outgoing. Gets to know people really well. He's done an outstanding job. I've also had a chance to talk to the county sheriff, and he seemed in favor of Cody as well. I can't see any reason why we wouldn't, but that's my opinion. So.
I feel the police chief should live in town, and that's just how I feel. We have a pretty good-sized budget for police services, and I just feel we need one that's living in town. And, I understand, we have some officers that don't live in town, but I really would like the police chief to live in town. I'd like to just continue searching and trying to find that person.
Monty, your thoughts?
This particular person brings a lot of baggage into town that I don't want to assume.
Okay. Christie?
I think Cody probably is doing a great job. I don't know him personally, but I do feel that I would prefer the police chief to be in town and embrace our community, be part of our community. I have been approached by a few members of our community, and they don't even know who he is. So, to me, I would prefer that the chief of police would be somebody who would reside in Hawarden.
I think it'd be safe to say we all would prefer that.
Yes, yep, that's what I'm saying at this point, is I would 100% prefer that the chief of police is a citizen of Hawarden.
Derek?
I agree. I'd rather, in a perfect world, I'd like to have the chief of police live in town, but considering the circumstances, and we've been looking for a chief of police for how long, and we're having a hard time finding officers now. I wouldn't want to work for an organization that doesn't have a leader, and he's doing the job, and everybody I talk to says he's doing a great job, and he's got a unique circumstance, and empathetic to that, and I completely understand it, but, 2 years from now it might change, so, I don't know, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve this appointment.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor of hiring Cody Brotherson for Police Chief of Hawarden, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
No.
Okay. Does not pass it's 2-3. Question for you. In our ordinance, we don't require police chief to live in town for 6 months. I would propose that we hire Cody as acting chief of police so we can move our police department forward. After 6 months, we would reevaluate him and see if it's working out. If it's not, then the council would have an opportunity there to change him back to sergeant. But thoughts on that, Rob?
I think he's doing the job. He just, it's unfortunate his circumstances won't allow him to move to town at this time. He's really open and honest. I don't think that we could get a better candidate, in my opinion. I think it brings stability to our department by having him in place. I think it's a way to move forward. I would be in favor of a conditional agreement at this time to move things forward. So I would entertain that motion if we can vote on that.
That's not on the agenda.
Yeah, so Mr. Mayor, this is Tim Clausen again.
Yep.
The agenda item is to hire him as a permanent chief of police, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I don't see any problem with you having this discussion about the interim hire or a temporary hire, or I guess the way I would probably phrase it is a conditional hire. But I think that that's something that should specifically be put on the agenda and then brought up at the subsequent meeting.
Okay, thank you. Patty?
I don't want to leave you hanging because you're trying to figure it out, but I wouldn't want to give him that interim police chief position for 6 months or whatever time frame that is. I'd like to continue to keep trying to look for a police chief. That's my opinion.
Monty?
Location is not one of the baggages that I'm concerned with.
Okay. Christie?
I, too, want to just continue looking for the chief of police, for somebody to fill that position. Keep looking at the applications and keeping the ads out there until we find the right candidate.
Derek?
I agree with Rob, but, I mean, living in Hawarden is an important thing, and I understand that, so, but I'm not opposed to an interim title and see how it works out.
Okay.
I have a question then. Should I do another big push this next month and blast out in news in other areas and just try and get it out there again, according to your guys' responses? Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Moving on to payroll update. Jacob?
All right. I'm going to pull up my sheet that we got back from our wage comparisons. I didn't quite get nearly as many as I thought I would, and it's not going to be large enough for a lot of you guys. You guys probably can't see that at all. But overall, this is coming back from last meeting, and on the sheet, what you would basically see is that with other cities that have the positions that are about the same as our positions, we are relatively lower than most. Many of those are also looking at doing 3 to 10% increases this year. And so basically, I am saying that ultimately this is going to be a council decision on what to do with the pay scales for what we're doing for budgeting. And none of this is, we're not like voting per se on what the increase is. I'm reaching out for how you guys feel about it so I know how to move forward with budgeting. But I would say that with those facts, I would still recommend going above the union contract, but ultimately, it's going to be your guys' decision, and we'll go with that.
So what would you like at this time? Just a,
Well, what we were looking at last time was the differences of cost between doing anywhere from 2.5%, which is the union contract, to 5%. And I was hopefully looking to get a consensus of 3 or more of you guys that would tell me that you'd be willing to go with a certain percentage, that I could start putting that into our budgets and getting more concrete budget numbers for our actual budget process. Or any additional thoughts?
Well, my additional thought is that it's a definite conflict of interest for you to be deciding on your salary. Now, if we're going to take the salaried personnel out of this equation and just deal with the hourly people, then yes, I think we can find a solution here. But I will not vote on, your recommendation for what your salary should be.
Okay.
I guess I didn't take it that way. I don't think he was in general talking about his salary.
I don't either, but that's what will happen. It's what's happened for 10 years.
That's not exactly true. So anyway, my thought is, and this is just my thought, but I'm sure Doc will have a different thought, but
Just say it.
what?
Whatever you got to say.
I'm just saying that I don't think 2.5% is fair. I think if we're going to retain employees and keep employees, we're going to have to do a little bit better than that. So that is.
Is
my
that
thought.
your opinion, or are you hoping that's my opinion?
Nope. I don't really care
Then
what your opinion
good.
is, Doc. So.
other thoughts? Christie?
Okay, well, I'm going to stick with what I said last time, in our last meeting. I was comfortable at the 3%. So just going to say that's where I'm at.
Derek?
I'm also going to stick where I was at the 3.5 last time.
And Patty?
I thought about of course, I always want to stick to contracts. And I understand that in last year they did go above, they doubled the raise. I mean, I guess I could go a 3%. In the threes, depending on what you guys are doing.
So my thought is, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start putting in 3% in all the budgets. We're not voting on wages right now. That will come in a wage resolution. That'll happen in June. But for budgeting purposes, I'm going to start putting in the 3% and updating the spreadsheets. So that is all I have for that.
Okay. Don't need to vote on that.
No.
Moving on to item 10, the budget.
All right, so we're going to start off with a quick reminder of our timeline. We are January 24th. I've gotten initial budget sheets to you guys. I've made some changes, just updating the missing information that was in there so far. So I will be sending out new budget sheets to you guys shortly. And then today, the plan is to go over the changes that I see right now. This is just highlighting things that I think that are majorly different from last year to this year, changing in price. It doesn't, I don't mean that we're feasibly able to pay that yet, because I haven't gotten that far. And then I'll also go at I'll talk about our levy rate today. So that is our timeline. We'll have February 14th and 18th to, for you guys to give discussion on any items that you guys want to change. You guys could also do that today. Give us direction if you guys see something that you think that you'd want changed. And then, yeah.
Did you say that, which meeting dates, I guess, again, you were talking about? Are there any special meetings for this, or can we?
Right now, I have this scheduled so we don't have any special meetings. The red ones are not meetings, and that is just strictly timelines for things that I have to do to make sure that I don't fall behind. Because the way with the new law, everything is very tight. and I have to make sure that we don't fall behind or we will be late. So I'm going to just start off with highlighting the major changes in the general fund. There's really not that many. I think I have like 6 different individual lines to look at. The first one is our levy rate. So with the new ratcheting down that's happening with the state of Iowa, and they are limiting what we can levy, I have done the maximum amount that we can do, and our levy rate actually ends up dropping from 14.89 to 14.41. But the good news is that it doesn't actually take dollars away from us. We keep it about the same spot. We actually get about $7,000 more from the tax revenue just because of the valuations. So that buys us, at least this year, that we won't have to stress too much about trying to find additional revenues. But this is a 5-year plan, so as it gets more along, that rate will actually keep on dropping.
That's what I was going to ask you.
The maximum amount that we can pull will actually keep on dropping.
Okay.
So that is that one. One of the other highlights here was we have now started investing with CDs instead of leaving all of our money in the and just our banking account. So we've been getting a lot more interest revenue there. So we were getting around 20 to 14 to 15,000, and I'm estimating that we'll get 75,000 with those CDs in there. So we'll be getting about an additional $60,000 more of revenue from just having those CDs in there.
And then you kind of get back to years back when you had better revenue from the CDs.
This one's going to be a hot topic, and it is our audit expense. So the audit expense has dramatically increased over the last 3 years, and this year we have budgeted $45,000, but their estimate is actually in the $70,000 area.
That is so high.
Correct.
Let's go
So-
look.
And that is exactly the plan. So I had a conversation with Monty on this, and we are reaching out and going to be getting quotes from other places to.
Williams is just way too comfy with their spot around here.
So we need to
Really high.
start reaching out and finding out what our options are. Another option that we have, which I haven't looked at quite doing yet, but right now we do an accrual-based audit. And if we go to a cash-based audit, it will dramatically decrease the cost of the audit as well. We have been informed from our bonding attorneys as we kept on doing these electric projects that it was not beneficial to do that while we're trying to get a bond. But this upcoming year will be our last bond for the electric revenue project. So in my talks with them, they did not like that I brought it up, but they said that it won't hurt anything after we do it, after we have the money. So that is another option to decrease the cost there. On a,
Topic for another day.
it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
There's room definitely there. We have another item that I have brought up in discussion for the police salaries. A year or two ago, they changed it to have 5 officers to have 2 on during the day, and I, with the new wages that we did with our revamp this year, was plugging those in, and there's just no way that we can afford that. And we don't even have the officers to fill it right now. So I suggested that we go back down to 4 officers, including the chief, cutting out a full salary, and that actually gets us right back to where we were, and that will end up saving us, I think, a little over, if you look at the total numbers down here, $30,000. So that is one of the spots.
I have no problem with that.
Fire department, this one's not a change in cost, this is a change in method. So with our REC loan that they took out as a, for the trucks, that was the revolving loan fund that we got at 0% interest, so it's basically putting the money ahead of time, and now they're paying it back. Instead of having that all going to their money put away pile, I have to dedicate $25,000 to that loan, so I just split that line in 2. There were no other major changes in there. Recreation, the swimming pool, operational gas has constantly been over what we've budgeted for. So I increased that line right now I have not done anything else. I just highlighted it because we've never hit that, so it needs to be changed so it's more accurate.
Makes sense.
And then that's the same thing for one more line right here. Streetlights. Our streetlights are paid out of this line here, and we were always budgeting like $16,000, but it's been hitting more of the 25,000 range. So I also said that it's unrealistic for us to leave it under budgeted and have to amend for it later. We need to put the actual cost in it right now so that we are looking for it. And that is all of my general fund highlights that I have for you from last year to this year.
Sounds good.
You got stuff to go over for yours?
We could.
Any questions for Jacob? Okay. Travis has something to share with us.
Maybe you've seen this if you've looked through the budget sheets, but I proposed a 3% rate increase for water, no base increase. And just to kind of go over that, obviously we'd have to have a ordinance to change that, but the current rate is $2.73 per 100 CF. A 3% increase would be 8 cents, so it would bring it to $2.81. National average usage is 400 CF per household member per month, so an average four-person home would see a $1.28 increase per month. This would equate to an annual increase in water revenue between $8,000 and $9,000, depending on our sales. Sales have been down because of the lower well levels and the use of water restrictions. We are just starting to get our water operation fund out of the negative, so I just want to keep improving on that. And small increases more often are better than waiting too long and then asking for a larger one. So I just put this in the budget so we could see it, talk about it. If we get some agreements, then maybe we'll come back with an ordinance later in the summer. But
Questions for Travis?
and then in the electric, I did the same, just using those numbers we talked about last month to cover our bonds. Obviously, that'll change when we have the MRS rate study, and I meet with them February 7th for the initial findings of the rate study. So there'll be more to come, but I wanted to plug a number in on the budget of that increase to cover our bonds. He didn't change it to electric. Can you change it? It was a 1.2 cent raise, but like I said, they'll come back with different structure on residential and commercial and industrial, and hopefully we'll have that plugged in, the real numbers after our initial meeting and follow up. So
Okay. Thanks, Jacob and Travis, for your work on that. We'll move on to item 11, discussion on interim city administrator. You've got the information, I believe. Patty, you talked to Gary last, I think. You want to share?
The last time I spoke with him about possibly filling in as interim city administrator when Jacob does have to go to Germany for a year. Larry and Rob and I and Jacob had met with him over the phone also, and we do have a proposal here where we had talked about him being like maybe three days a week. He does agree to, he would agree to 25 hours a week at $60 an hour, same as we're paying to hire the police from the county, $60 an hour. And he'd be here
That was 75.
It is 75.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he doesn't need like life insurance, health insurance. He would get some paid vacation, and I'm assuming some sick leave if there's, he doesn't ask for it, but he would get a $250 car allowance, which the city administrator does get currently. He would like, he would like everyone to be unanimous about hiring him. He doesn't have to come here, he's retired, but he is willing to come and fill in. So that's where it's at, and then I passed it on to Larry and Jacob, so they have it, and that's all I know for now.
Yeah. So if everybody thinks that they're supportive of that, then we can move forward with that, but I don't. The one thing I do want to gauge is I might ask him if he wants to do just some hourly work ahead of time. We have a lot of that time coming up where I'm gone in February because I'll have my site visit in Germany, so I won't be here at the next meeting. So I might see if he is available to start just doing some hourly ahead of having a contract at that rate to see if he can come in and do some help. If not, we'll find a way to make it work.
Oh, I think he probably would, and I think it would be beneficial to you and anybody else so that you can keep things going. And you have time with him in the transition, if you will.
Jacob, is your MOB 12 months? Or is
Yes, the orders will be for 12 months.
it for 12 months? You get dwell time?
No, I'll be back at the end of that year.
Yeah, you're not going to use the 90 days after the end of that year?
No, I'll probably be here before that year is up.
Okay. I was just curious.
Whenever my demob's done, I'll probably take a week or two to get situated and get back here. Probably get another vehicle to be able to move around again, and then
That's why I asked, because USARA gives you have 90 days before you have to return to work after your line mobilization, so.
in that situation, I think it hurts me more to take that than it does to.
Wait for your terminal leave to burn out.
You'd want
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, but just to, yeah, that would.
Yeah,
really
the
would
further
make
away
work.
that you're away from this, the harder it is.
Any other questions or discussion on the proposal for interim city administrator? Or a motion?
I don't think we need.
Don't need a motion?
Just discussion for
Yeah,
now.
I think we're just going to.
And we would need to give this information to Jenny to draft a contract and a resolution to approve hiring him. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Moving on to the consent agenda, Hawarden Golf Clubhouse for liquor license transfer to the Hawarden Community Center on February 9th. Any discussion?
No?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Who made the motion?
I make a motion to approve
I'm
the
sorry.
consent agenda.
I'll second
Okay,
that.
Patty, thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Let's redo that vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Thank you.
There we go.
And we are at adjournment. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the city council meeting.
And a second? Oh, Monty? Okay. And those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same, or no? Thank you. Our next council meeting is February 14th, 2024. Be a special Valentine's Day meeting. So bring your Valentines.
I'll send my love.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Tim.
Yes.
This wasn't necessary for the record, but